Hey, what's up guys? It is your girl, Coach LeighAnn, down here at AM Fitness in Plainville. Today I'm bringing you a relatively quick video on lat mobility. So specifically what we're talking about with the mobility that we have in our lats is how it's affecting our overhead mobility. And we've talked about this a couple times before. The past phase that we just had, we had a kettlebell seesaw press. So that's a really good example for us. We had the kettlebells racked in front of us and we were pressing up overhead. Some of us might have had trouble getting the elbow next to our ear, and some of us may have found that we were kind of compensating to get ourselves there. So that right there shows you that you have a little bit of tightness when it comes to overhead mobility. And it could also just be to, the sweeping movement, getting the arm to come up over the top of the head. And when we talk about an overhead press, it doesn't necessarily have to just be with kettlebells. It could be with dumbbells, with bands, with barbells. Anything that we've done where we're pressing over the top of our head, if we don't have the right mobility to get there, then this is something that we want to work on. So the exercise that I'm going to show you for today is actually focusing on the attachment points of the lat. So when we're talking about the lat, this is the main part of the muscle that we're focused on. It's a very big muscle, and usually when we try to mobilize it, that's the part that we're focused on. What I want you to focus on is actually the attachment point. So the lat attaches under the arm right about here. So that's the part that we're actually going to focus on. So what you need for this exercise is not only a foam roller, but you actually need the band. So we need the roller, of course, so we can work on sitting on the lat, but we want to add the band in here, number one, for a little bit of joint distraction, but also so we can get an added stretch on the muscle. So I'm going to set it up with the band behind my wrist, just like I would any other stretch that I would do. Sit it across the palm. If I need to choke up on it a little bit, I can simply wrap it around my hand one more time, but as long as I'm not gripping it, because I don't want to activate anything, I want to make sure I'm stretching everything. So I get the top leg in front, so it's laying on the ground to support me, and I get the foam roller right underneath the crook of my armpit, and I make sure I have a little bit of tension on this band. And then from here, it's right on my armpit, I'm going to roll, there we go, back and forth over the attachment point of that lat. So again, I'm right in the armpit, and then I'm just back and forth over it. So it should be relatively uncomfortable because this is an area that we really don't spend that much time on. So if you focused on your lats in the past, you were probably at the meat of it, you probably didn't focus on this piece. So for a lot of us, it's going to be very tight. So it's something that we really need to work on. I would spend about 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds switch to the other side, and make sure that we're keeping it relatively dynamic and going back and forth between the two. So if you have any questions on how to do it or why you should do it, feel free to ask any one of your coaches and we'll help you out. Otherwise, we will see you guys at your next training phase.